Is web development even worth learning anymore, especially in 2026? And I personally think it is. So I'm not saying that because I think everybody needs to become a professional web designer and all of a sudden hop into this agency, make 6 figures a month, and like that's just gonna happen for everybody. I've actually been learning this for a while now, and the more I learn, the more I realize that coding gives you way more options than just getting a job. And that is why I think it really is more worth it to learn it, right? I think it's actually, for one, if we can get to the first reason, that it is a good hobby. It's something that is really fun to do, something that allows you to express your creativity depending on if you're doing front end, back end. But even so, I think it definitely is just one of the best things that tests your knowledge just enough, but then also allows to show your creative side. And I think that's probably one of the funnest things. You can make a website, you can make a game, you can make a tool, make an app, literally whatever you could think of, you can just make with JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. My fault. I'm like, what the hell was the other one? And even if you never make a single dollar from it, it still would be one of the coolest things you have ever done. There is this story-based game that I've been currently trying to work on. And obviously, I can only do it whenever I'm free, but once that game is done, though I created the story, wouldn't it still be fun to be able to participate and actually play that game regardless if anybody else ends up playing it? But obviously, the fact that it's fun isn't the only reason, but that I think it's worth learning, but I think it's definitely a really good reason whenever you kind of think about whatever you just want to make. It's just fun, bro. But something else you could do is that you can create small businesses, such as having a web design agency. There's a lot of potential with making money with having this skill. And I'm not talking about being a millionaire overnight or somehow just creating, this app and now you're just making hundreds of thousands of dollars. I know there's a lot of content out there that does talk about that, but that isn't going to happen for everybody, right? I'm talking about something much more realistic, which is creating small businesses around websites. What if you build websites for small businesses? They're not going to really pay you too much simply because they are small business, but you could get a couple $100s a month just trying to do this, which is currently something that I'm trying to do as well. You can also create websites and try to put ads on those websites and gain traffic to those websites to get paid if you want to make a couple bucks here and there, depending on how many people go to your websites and click those ads or just see those ads. You can even sit there, create templates, and with these templates, sell it on different types of websites, such as Etsy, or just put it anywhere, right? Wherever you can ultimately sell your work or sell these templates. You could build niche websites. What if you only make websites for nail salons? Or maybe you just have a specific aesthetic that you haven't really seen in the web design space that people will really like to have. You can sit there and sell digital products. You can create tools and offer website services, even sometimes just website maintenance. So if you know how to maintain a website, what if that's the only thing you offer and you tell them, listen, I will maintain your website probably for a cheaper price than the person who's actually maintaining that website. But depending on what you're building and who you're building it for, even making an extra few $100s a month can make a huge difference. And that's one of the reasons I'm learning this personally, right? I'm trying to create more options for myself. It's not that my current income isn't enough, but I want to have options to where if something ever happened to the current income, I have other avenues to go to. But there's another way people completely overlook this. Websites can actually make money without selling them. So I do want to get into the more deeper side of this that I was just talking about, how you can monetize a website. And as long as you can work on traffic, I'm not saying it's going to be the easiest. It's kind of like making YouTube content, right? I got monetized. I make a few bucks here and there, a couple $100 here and there, but depending on the traffic you get to these websites, you can make a pretty dime. So with building these websites, monetizing it, focus on the traffic. For example, you could build a niche website around something people are already searching for, such as what are the top 10 PCs you could buy in 2026. I'm not saying there's not websites out there like this, but you would have to think outside the box, but also something that people look for. If people start getting directed straight to your platform, and let's say this one is the one, bro, you can make bread off of it. You need to get enough visitors and potentially you can make money just through that advertising. You can even use affiliate links. You can place these websites, and let's say people are going to these websites. You could put your own digital product on the websites. And if people trust your website, they may pay for that digital product. you can put memberships, or have even other ways of people monetizing you. You can name it, right? But now obviously getting traffic isn't going to be easy. Like I mentioned, you could build the greatest website in the world and literally nobody would click on it, right? So that's where one of the biggest problems with learning web development comes in. So one of my problems I want to discuss is AI. And I'm sure you guys knew we were going to get to this topic, because if you've been anywhere near coding lately, you probably heard the same question over and over. Why learn to code when AI can just write the code for you? And honestly, I definitely understand that question. AI can write code instantly and really fast. It can explain things to you, find bugs, help you find features or build features, and even create entire sections of a website. But one thing AI can't really do is that they will never have the mind that a human has, especially with the creativeness. So if you're learning web development just to memorize how to write every single line of code, yeah, you're probably going to be learning it the wrong way. But here's where you can make it have a point, right? Because I definitely don't think, building websites and AI being present, makes learning how to build websites pointless. So I really want to get into this topic, because if you don't understand what you're looking at, you can't really tell whether the AI gave you something or good or just completely broken, because you don't really know what the code is saying. You need to understand enough to ask the right questions, recognize mistakes, change the code, and eventually turn the idea that the client or the other person wants into something more beautiful, into something more bigger. And that's how I started looking at AI myself. I don't look at AI and think this is going to replace me. I see AI as a tool, right? I don't want AI to replace the process of learning for me. I want it to speed the process up. So sometimes people will say things like, oh, you definitely use AI throughout this entire thing, or whatever the hell. And I'll say, well, that's not the case. I've used AI in places where I'll be like, you know what? I know how to make a nav bar, but it defeats the purpose of every time I'm just single-handedly coding the nav bar. Right? So I'm going to try to speed up the process of things that I already know how to do. Now, when it's difficult things, I do like to test my knowledge. I like to see, can I do this? Is this something that I can actually accomplish? And sometimes it will be, sometimes it won't be. And so I can use AI if I'm struggling, but I don't use it the entire way through. I'm not a vibe coder, y'all. If I'm stuck on a bug, I'll use it to help figure out what's going on. If I have an idea, but I don't know how to really implement it, or I'm not understanding what I'm trying to create, maybe I'll ask for ideas with them. But I still want to understand what I am building, and I still want it to be something I can call my own. Now, I want to get into the biggest reason why I feel like people should still learn web development in 2026 is that this is a really good option. And I think in life, we all should be trying to create options. And that's something I really want this channel to kind of push out and perceive. I want people to be inspired. Create options for yourself. Even if you're making enough, create options. And honestly, this is the biggest reason why I think it's still worth learning, because I don't know exactly where the skill is going to take me. Maybe I'll eventually work in tech. Maybe I'll work for websites or make websites for businesses. My fault. Maybe I'll build my own businesses. Damn, I'm like fumbling my words. Maybe I'll build my own websites and monetize it, right? Maybe I'll build some random tool that ends up becoming a business. Who knows? Maybe I'll just keep it as a hobby. Maybe there's certain skills in between that I'm learning, such as when I start the web design agency, I'm going to be learning, sales, marketing, branding. Those are going to be really important. And those skills can go to a bunch of different things. So I don't think it's worthless, right? But now I have another skill that gives me the ability to actually create those possibilities. So is web design still worth learning in 2026? For me, absolutely. It may not be for you if there was anything else that you probably didn't agree with throughout this, or maybe if you just have a different opinion, maybe you could drop it down below. It might make sense, right? Not because I think it's a guaranteed thing to get you a better job or get you a good job. Not because I think everybody needs to become a developer. Definitely not because I think you're going to make thousands of dollars overnight. I'm going to be real with you. That's probably not going to happen. Right? I think it's worth learning because it's a skill that can give you options. It's a skill that can give you a little bit of side hustle money if you stay consistent and focused and disciplined on working towards it. And honestly, I think that's a pretty damn good reason to end up learning it anyway. So I'm still learning all of this myself. I'm definitely self-taught. So if you want to see where this actually takes me, stick around. And there's going to be a bunch of different things that I end up learning on this journey. That's why this channel is called Marzy's Journey, y'all. So if y'all want to end up watching the whole thing, bro, because we're going to be documenting the entire thing. We're almost done building this web design business, and then we're going to go on to the next chapter, y'all. It's going to be super fun. So please tune in, y'all. Love y'all. Catch you on the next one. Deuces. That's crazy. I swore that wasn't that. Like, was it like that this whole time?